欢迎大家回到片聊室的单车街访系列，我是阿丹。今天趁着好天气，阿丹带大家到台北市阳明山系里面很受车友欢迎的热门路线冷水坑。今天街访的主题是要帮想开始骑车的新手车友们来了解一下，究竟我们身边的车友们当初入门的时候都选了些什么车款，而选车款的时候又考量了哪些重点呢？就让我们一起进入今天的街访环节吧。
今天很高兴访问到这位一身劲装的帅车友。这位车友怎么称呼？Felix 你好。
车衣的话，我自己是比较习惯买 Rafa 的啦。那当初会喜欢它，就觉得它设计都比较简单，因为我不太喜欢花花绿绿的。那我喜欢它的好处是它的 Bora 有两颗，调整的话就是很好的。是大气的2.8，这一款在前3、4年前开始出来就很红嘛，因为也是环法的接触赛车队，市场是很好。这台车是Canyon 的公路车，然后全国的牌子。然后在2016年的时候，它其实是我越南Canyon的越野赛车，就这里推广，所以在这边我喜欢它，所以就再买一台。它是 Ultimate SLR， 然后它是登山用的，对，然后算是他们家就是最高级的那个车架。然后轮组全其实都是乘坐官网本身接起来的。
OK。
第一台因为其实我最早是玩单速车，对，就是 Fifth Gear 那个，对，那玩了好几年，然后但是后来我就觉得我想要骑得轻松一点，对，因为那时候喜欢玩招啊，对啊，但是我觉得我都骑不了很远，对，然后后来我就想骑远一点，就换了公路车。那做功课的话，其实我是比较看外形的，那就是 Canyon 我就很喜欢它的涂装，就很简单，不会有花花绿绿的 logo 啊什么的。然后，那我觉得一个很重要的功课就是要去做 fitting， 对，因为我之前玩单速车可能也没有很在意这些，就发现车架不是我的，就会玩得很痛。
OK，
所以我在买车之前，我先去做 fitting， 把我的身高尺寸量好，再去官网上买，那就可以买到很适当的车。因为它官网就可以输入你的是什么身高啊或胯高之类的，然后它就给你定义的数据。对。然后你买回来之后，你这些坐高啊，或是什么曲柄什么的，你可能不需要再去微调就好。
OK， 了解。好，谢谢 Felix 的分享。
对。
好，这位车友怎么称呼
？Hello， 我是肉姐。
好，肉姐你好。那这位是
叫小 B。
小 B。
小 B。
小 B。
这是我们很喜欢的Start 系列，然后这款就是去年的，对，但是我喜欢它的配色，然后就是很简单的绿度，然后是雾面消光的颜色，然后带一点点的墨绿，有一些很亮的颜色，然后使用的是碟刹，因为我骑山路比较多，我比较怕
就是下坡的刹车，女生比较不用按的这么大力，自动性就很好。好。好，那小兵介绍一下你今天的车子的。
那我车子是跳的，算是去年款的那个 XR7 Pro。那当初会选这台车，主要是觉得它颜色蛮特别的，因为它有点
变色
概念，就是在阳光或者在阴暗不同情况下颜色不一样。对。那最主要就是会选择在朋友介绍下，因为它在安全性，因为我们会骑上下坡，那别上很多是这种比较刚入骑的车。
所以小兵开始骑车多久？
其实大概半年
，OK， 然后肉显是
大概30。
OK， 所以两位都算是刚接触公路车没有很久，
对，刚接触。
两位选的车款其实都不算入门款，那其实就是当初要下手的时候，其实是已经有觉得说不太会，可能3分钟热度的感觉。
对啊，当然。
最主要这是一个原因啊，那一个原因因为周边朋友看爱车经验，就是他们一开始换便宜的车，可是就变成零件、车架、轮组一直在换，然后花费更多。所以我干脆就买到位这样。
其实这也是公路车界车友们就是彼此之间有点半开玩笑的说法，一种就是说，其实买错是最贵的。对，好啊，谢谢两位接受我们的访问，谢谢。好，我们接下来很高兴访问到这位车友，这位车友怎么称呼？我叫 Jason。Jason， 你好。这一台是 Canfield 的 Cat 12，然后其实有一些改装部品是自己去找的，为了把它轻量化。然后轮组是暗黑跑铃，暗黑跑铃，对，然后就改一些轻量化，像车手把也有改，然后坐板也有改。踏板的话是洛克型，然后是支持国产，对，国产品牌就是 VP 的，对，然后 Canfield 这一款 Cat。算是旅车里面的很轻量化的旅车之王，对，就是江湖人称旅车之王的 Cat， 没错。然后就是用一些零配件把它轻量化，然后把它改得更轻。所以车重现在大概7公斤左右。OK， 所以真的是蛮轻。其实跟一些碳车其实差不多，对。然后碳车有些甚至还可以再更重一点，对，因为它为了安全性可能会用的比较那个碳布包的比较多。对。了解，Jason，那你踏入公路车界的第一台车是什么品牌？是什么车？那你当时做了哪些考量入手了这台车？第一台车是 Joint 的 Defeat， 然后当初会选那一台车，其实它虽然是有一点爬坡型的车架，但是它主打是舒适。只能说舒适型的，然后刚好是因为要环岛 ，OK， 所以需要一个长途可以对舒适骑乘的车款，对，没错。然后算是那一台算是第二台，就是等于说第一台公路车，但是第二次环岛 ，OK， 就是跟登山车比起来，像我第一次是登山车的环岛，就是比起来就是真的是舒服。怎么说？公路车的话，因为它其实你在巡航的时候其实是非常轻松，对，就是我觉得踏入公路车虽然是一条不归路，可是真的会让你引起那个兴趣。OK， 预算上当时有考量吗？那时候那一台好像大概3万多左右。OK， 对，其实算是我踏入我那时候的想法是。脚踏车不是都1万多块而已，然后后来看到那台3万块，就是真的太喜欢了，就砸下去。对，但是我觉得3万块算是入门，算是蛮不错的。对，1万多块的，我就觉得可以稍微存一点钱买好一点会比较好。对，因为其实像旅车，其实也是像场地赛车手很喜欢用的一个材质，就是因为它其实还蛮耐用的啦。对。所以如果刚入门的车友，像比如说还在练习上下卡这些，可能有时候会倒车啊。对，那时候我就不怕，就是反正上卡我也摔了7、8次了。OK， 对，人家说3次嘛，可是我摔了7、8次才开始有点恢复状况。谢谢 Jason， 谢谢。All right, we got 3 stylish gentlemen here for our interview. What's your name? Dave. Very good. James. Thanks for having us for the interview. So, can you quick introduce your bike and the outfit?
So this is Harley. You might have heard of the brand. I first got into this riding, road cycling 4 years ago. I got this used from a friend in the States where they were made, and stuck with it. And changed out the gate set, pretty much everything. And, yeah.
How
Had
about
some thrills and spills on this.
okay, Phil?
Yeah, this one too. Well, this one was from the Slippery Climb, which everyone knows about, and I know really well.
So you currently live in Taiwan?
I do, yeah. I've lived in here for 6 months now, almost. Well,
Okay.
total 6.
Cool. So how do you like cycling in Taiwan so far?
Kevin, got everything.
Cool. And so that's about a little bit about your outfit.
Oh, this gloves are from Canada. That's like a Swiss brand. How do you pronounce that? Churro. From a local bike shop in Toronto, Kensington Market.
Well, the logo is pretty badass.
Yeah,
Like a
it's-
BMX or a fixed gear.
Yeah, it's got like maybe like a Black Panther kind of thing. It's kind of cool. And it's nearby Chinatown, Toronto.
Okay.
They use this jersey. I picked it up in Thailand. Local brand called V-Sport.
Okay. Yeah,
So,
that's a,
yeah,
they got the logo.
yeah,
Very,
it's the
very
beer.
Thailand logo.
Yeah, it's nice to pick up some local gear when I can, and then the Rafa bibs. I love them. They're great. Can't go wrong with those. Socks and shoes.
Yeah, Cannondale Cat 12 disc with Dura Ace and a quart power meter. Some matching boulder cages that I put on there recently that match the frame a bit.
Ooh, they're nice.
The Super Caz one, I think. Yeah, that's the bike. Love the Pirelli tires. Great for ascending in Taiwan.
Cool. Pirelli P0.
Yep.
Yeah. It's getting popular these days.
Yeah. I've been in Taiwan for 18 months now. I've had one puncture on this bike, so that's pretty good.
Okay, cool. And how about your outfit?
Rafa jersey, MAP bib. I love the MAP bibs. Shimano shoes, and some white cycling socks to look pro.
Yeah. Hey guys, remember white socks for looking pro.
And next time I gotta go for the white shoes as well. That's the next move.
The balance, the white helmet and socks.
Yeah, that's a little tip for cycling fashion. You gotta have balance for colors matching. Yeah.
So yeah, that's my outfit in a nutshell.
Okay. Cool. About James?
This is the ankle. So
Everybody knows the color, the iconic colors.
I think my second bike. So I probably got into road riding only about 2.5 years ago, and I actually picked up a really old second-hand Yankee.
Okay.
But like dirt cheap, but it was quite. I love that bike, and I actually gave it to a friend who was like also just getting into riding.
Uh-huh.
And it was just like a perfect fit for her. Like the seat post was seized, so it was way too. I was totally in the wrong position on the bike, but it was a great bike to start off with. And then yeah, I decided to get a carbon for this.
Okay. Cool.
I would say if you do, I would just say ride Shimano just for like practicality. Yeah.
Okay. Even though you have a Campy system.
Yeah, that's like just from experience, parts, costs of things. You know.
Not because of the brand original for the brand.
That's why you do it, isn't it?
Yeah.
All the Italian is nice, but especially out here in Taiwan, it's like one shot maybe that stops it. The practicality of Shimano is so easy to deal with.
Okay. Good advice for beginners. All right. So next is our main question for today is that what is your first bike and what are the important things you considered for picking up your first bike? What brand and what are the considerations?
The most important thing is just ride. Get any bike. My first bike was a giant steel one from the mid-90s, I think. And then I had another aluminium bike, and then this one. Just get any bike. Aluminium, steel is pretty cheap. Just ride, and at some point things will click in your head, and you're like, I want to do this forever and ever. And then you spend lots of money on better bikes, better clothing. I think that's the way to go.
Okay.
Just get on the bike because it's not for everyone, but
Not necessary to be fancy or
Yeah.
fancy bike.
That can come later. Just ride your bike, go to a nice place. Like in Taiwan, it's easy. Like there's nice places to ride everywhere. In Holland, it's a bit harder. But go ride your bike, have fun,
Okay.
and then see where the road takes you.
Okay. Okay, so David's from Canada, Toronto. David is from Poland, Amsterdam. Oh, the country of bicycle. Nice. And how about James? England. Okay. So you guys meet in Taiwan?
Yep.
Yeah. Cool.
In a bike shop.
Yeah.
Surprisingly.
On a bike ride.
On a bike ride, yeah.
Oh, cool.
the other great thing about biking is just the community.
Yeah.
Like for example, that day, at the time, they just arrived, do you want to go for a ride? Sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I agree with that. Otherwise, I won't have these gentlemen being so friendly for us for have this interview. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
感谢以上几位车友的热情分享。现在来总结一下今天街访的重点整理。第一，如果你不确定公路车是否是自己的真爱的话，就先买台入门的中低阶车款，培养感情一段时间之后，确定真的会是真爱，也会继续走下去的话，再考虑后续零件的升级，或是换更高阶的车款。因为随着你的车龄的增长，外企经验的累积，看过更多车友的帅车，关注过更多品牌的产品，自己喜欢的东西会越来越清楚。到时候针对自己喜欢的东西来花钱投资，更能花在刀口上。第二，如果你相当确定自己喜欢骑车，而会一直骑下去的，那你可以考虑一次攻顶。俗话说，买错的最贵，一次攻顶能避免后续慢慢升级或是换车的成本。而就算你真的看上了新欢，想告别旧爱，中高级车在二手市场中也比入门车款要来得好脱手。第三，轻量化碳纤维车架价格普遍较高，也比较需要好好呵护，比较经不起摔车倒车的摧残。刚开始骑车的车友，在控车能力尚未完全掌握之前，或是你还在练习上下卡的阶段，可以考虑铝合金或是钢管车这种比较耐操的材质。真的倒车的话，你的心疼指数也会比较低一点啊。最后，挑选车架尺寸最好还是请教店家，按照自己的身高、胯高等基本数据去做选择。尤其如果要购入高单价的高阶车款，可以考虑先做过完整的 fitting。对于购入乘车时可供挑选的尺寸，更能一次性的到位，避免后续还要换零件的成本。以上就是今天的影片，想看更多单车街访，就帮我按赞、订阅、分享，小铃铛开起来。我们下次见，拜拜。